Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's June 1st, and I'm in Burlington, Colorado currently here. And I'm going to be doing some storm chasing out here the next few days. Then I'll be home as we go through the mid portion of the week coming up here. But there's some exciting weather across Pacific Northwest incoming here as we go on in through this week and into early next week. And we're going to dive into those details as we go through the video here this morning. If we take a look at the mid-level water vapor loop, you can see British Columbia, Washington, Oregon. I'm way zoomed out here. There's the Hawaiian Islands. You can see the atmospheric river sends all the way back across towards the western Pacific associated with a tropical system out there. And this is going to bring a 1-2 punch of some pretty heavy rainfall, especially for this time of year across much of the Pacific Northwest, especially the mountainous areas here. And we're going to go into those details here in a moment. But I wanted to show you one of the lightning shots I got here yesterday. We're just a bit west of here over Colorado. This was east of Denver. Some nice lightning out there, a sunset show, pretty interesting stuff. Taking a look here at the wet pattern ahead, take a look at the likelihood for rainfall greater than an inch here as we go Sunday through Monday. And some of the ensemble members actually show higher percentages here, but you see the mountainous areas are favored. Olympia about a 50-50 chance here. Tacoma 45%. Seattle about 1 in 3 chance here. But definitely rainy conditions coming up here Sunday through Tuesday. You're definitely going to notice this. And they're calling for this for Spokane. Look at this, half an inch to an inch higher the bit further you go east across Kellogg. And you can see Sandpoint getting up towards an inch and a half. Stevens Pass 2 to 3 inches as well. So increased risk for rock slides, rises on small creeks and streams, ponding and poor drainage areas. You guys know the drill. You know, if the water's too deep, don't go through it. Turn around, don't drown, right? And this is for Monday afternoon here, Eastern Washington. Check it out. Look at Ritzville and Ellensburg gusting over 50 miles per hour. Wilbur 49 here. Thunderstorm potential as well. And rough waters on some of the local area lakes. This is for Eastern Oregon, Pendleton. You can see higher amounts across the Blue Mountains and the Cascades. Here you see the rain shadowing effect going on for some of Eastern Washington and Eastern Oregon too. You can see Bend picking up about a quarter to a half an inch there expected. Incoming rain as we go Sunday, June 2nd through June 4th there, and you can see the coastal areas of Oregon here, and we're going to take a look at how strong this atmospheric river is because it's dumping some pretty good amounts along the coastal range and the Cascades. And by the way, if you can't tell, I've had a cold the last few days, but I thought this event was definitely worth cuffing it out here and trying to get this out. So bear with me on my voice today. Taking a look here at the North American models, putting this into motion as we go through Saturday. This is Saturday evening now, and watch as we go on into Sunday morning. Look at that rain shield just totally engulf much of the western portions of Washington, Oregon. Some moderate rain at times as possible as we go through the day Sunday. Look at that atmospheric river just pouring into the Pacific Northwest as we go through the day Sunday. Precipitation at times east of the mountains, but not as high as across the Cascades and western portions, however. And this goes all the way on in through Sunday afternoon. At that point, you can see the rain continuing on. So taking a wider look at things, you can see the Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. Here's the Pacific Ocean. There's British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon. Here goes this system kind of swinging through today. Very weak one on Saturday, but then a stronger polar lobe here, we'll call it. I don't like calling it a polar lobe here as we go in towards the summer months. By the way, today is the first day of meteorological summer here, June 1st. So there goes that system here as we go through Sunday into Monday, and then the next one continues on in through Tuesday morning. You can see the ridge of high pressure here versus the Gulf of Alaska low, and that strong gradient pumping that atmospheric river and all that moisture into the Pacific Northwest, known as the atmospheric river. So then as we scroll off into the extended, you notice that ridge starts to bump its way up across the Pacific Northwest. And fair weather lovers, this is a nice sight to see because we will be warming up quite dramatically here across the Pacific Northwest. So huge shift in weather. We're going to go from winter-like atmospheric river conditions to a very strong ridge here. Looks like it's going to develop across the west coast of North America. And this is looking way out across the Pacific Ocean. We got Japan to the far left. There's Alaska in the center, and there's Washington here. If we put this into motion, you can see the system rolling in Sunday here with the precipitable water showing the atmospheric river. And then the second punch here as we go on in through Tuesday morning. And then we start to build that ridge, and you can see the deep trough out over the Gulf of Alaska and the Pacific Ocean, allowing that ridging to build, which is really going to ramp up the temperatures as we go through the upcoming next week here. And we're looking at some 80s widespread. We'll take a look at those details here in a moment. But if we take a look at the European, you can see AR3. There's even a spot in the Oregon coast for AR4, but definitely a wet system. Very uncharacteristic here for June 1st, no doubt. Taking a look here, you can see it does qualify into the strong category here, the atmospheric river. The duration is over 48 hours, and the integrated vapor transport is over 750 at times. So very interesting stuff. This is something more likely that you would see in November, December, or January versus June 1st. So looking at Seattle, you can tell the last few days the models have been pretty good, showing over an inch of precipitation in a 24-hour period. They've been picking it up really since about the 28th, over an inch here, and they've been picking up this rainfall all the way back towards May 26th. So if we take a look at Tillamook, look at this. Some models have been showing up towards 2 inches in the 24-hour period here as we go on in towards a Sunday night. This is Mount Baker ski area, and you can see also here we're talking about almost 2 inches in a 24-hour period, and the model's been pretty good agreement, or the European's been in pretty good agreement with itself here over the last few days. Now here's Portland. You can see the chillier temperatures as we go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then you can see the warm-up coming next week. Look at this, some upper 80s starting to show up. Seattle, Tacoma, something similar. Sunday, Monday, very suppressed temperatures, and then definitely warming back up as we go through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Take a look at the National Blended Models. So this is the precipitation total. So we're going to roll into that week system as we go through today. And as we go on into Sunday morning, you'll see that rainfall start to pick up in western British Columbia, western Washington, Oregon. And as we go on in through Monday morning and then on in through Tuesday morning, you see the rain continue to pile up. Look at some inches. The Cascades getting up over 4 inches. Widespread 2 to 3 inch totals there. In Seattle, likely over an inch. Portland, something similar, higher amounts across the Rockies, the Blue Mountains, and you can see the rain shadowing effect as well across some portions of eastern Washington, Oregon. These atmospheric rivers are pretty low-lying rivers of moisture moving in, so a lot of this gets wrung out as it runs into the mountain ranges here, and you can see the dramatic rain effect across British Columbia as well. Taking a look at wind speeds, and I'm going to update this because it looked a little bit blustery here as I was looking at this last night, but let's see what the latest has to say. This is the European, actually calls for a 37 mile per hour gust there for the Seattle Metro. You can see the higher amounts across the Cascades up towards northwest to Seattle, across some of the San Juans. Whidbey Island looks pretty gusty as well as we go on into the upcoming early portion of the week. And you can see those winds really ramp up there for eastern Washington as we go through the day. Monday, some gusts of 50 plus are possible. And here's the North American model, accumulated again, 10 meter max wind gusts. So as I scroll through here, it just kind of sticks the highest wind speed on. We're going to check it out as we go through the next couple of days here. And you can see as we go through Sunday, the breezy conditions do pick up. You can see Olympia and some areas like Chehalis, Oregon coast could be gusting over 50 miles per hour, this winter-like storm. As we go through Sunday afternoon, you can see Seattle checks in at 36. And with all the leaves on the trees, this can cause nuisance power outages across the area. Look at the Willamette Valley gusting up over 40 miles per hour as well. And I know some of the coastal areas, people out there have their leaves on the trees now, so watch out. You could get some tree damage from this storm. And as we go through Monday afternoon as well, the NAM doesn't quite go out that far just yet, but some gusty winds will be coming east. Now, if we take a look at last night's European artificial intelligence run, you can see the system rolling through here, the first one, and then the second one, the atmospheric river, and then the ridge building up across the west coast of North America. How long will that hang out? Good question. We're looking way off in the forecast at this point, but you can see there is quite a bit of ridging out in our extended forecast here as well. So we may be looking at it's possible we could be looking at some above average temperatures for a while as we go through the mid portion of June. And we're going to skip the mean sea level pressure today. I want to show you the 2 meter temperature anomaly. You can see the pretty good gradient here as we go on in towards the early portion of the week. You see above average conditions across the southwest, but below across the Pacific Northwest. If we scroll forward in that, you can really see the anomaly creep up across Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia as we start to get towards this weekend. So definitely showing the sign for those returning warm temperatures here across the Pacific Northwest. And here's the 6 to 10 day. This should be no surprise with everything we just talked about. Below average precipitation expected in this time frame, June 6th through 10th. 8 to 14 day, again, the above average signal there, and the below average signal just going to clip in Washington. And if we take a look at the drought monitor, this was issued May 30th. You can see there is some moderate drought across some of the Cascades of Washington, the Olympic Mountains. But right now, Oregon is drought-free. A lot of Idaho is drought-free, except for the Panhandle, western Montana, not doing too hot as well. And there is a tiny bit of extreme drought across the border of Montana and Idaho there also. So yeah, I'll be out here chasing again today. I should be back on Tuesday, and I'll be doing my normal briefings from home at that point. So yeah, I'm sitting in the hotel room. Here we are. And I'm kind of missing out on the weather up there. I'm kind of sad that I'm going to miss it, it looks like, because the pretty windy conditions coming up here, some areas, a lot of rainfall. I would definitely like to see this before things warm up. But you guys have fun with this out there, and we will do this again tomorrow most likely. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys then.